Hello, I'm going to go over my latest article called Losing Weight by Regaining Health, Healing Your Mammal Brain, Part 1. Why does it seem impossible for some people to lose weight? Well, your brain measures how many calories you burn each day and then gives you an appetite to match so that you won't overeat or undereat. And your brain only craves healthy foods. It never craves harmful foods. Yet so many of us overeat and regularly crave fast energy junk foods like sugar and processed carbs. So, how could these statements all be true simultaneously? Well, there is one instance in life where sugar and desserts actually are a health food, or at least a survival food. And no, it doesn't mean you should eat them. But it's a health survival food when you are literally running from a tiger to save your life. So if you knew that in 5 minutes you were going to have to run from a tiger, and if you weren't fast enough, it would catch you and you would die, it would be very smart to eat junk, sugary food right before that, so that you would have a sugar high, adrenaline burst that would help you run a little bit faster and not get caught by the lion or the tiger. You don't really need endurance, you need speed to get to somewhere safe, or you're going to die. So in that case, who cares about what's going to happen 30 years from now if you eat junk food, if you're going to die in 5 minutes from a tiger, right? Sugar and processed carbs would help you run faster, improving your odds of avoiding imminent death. But in modern life, absent literal tigers, eating sugar causes long-term body damage and weight gain. The same is true for overeating. The increased appetite and subsequent taking in extra calories is in preparation for running from tomorrow's tiger. So why would we crave junk food when no literal tigers exist in modern life? Right? It's a big misunderstanding. Why is this misunderstanding here? Well, because of a huge internal misunderstanding due to a brain imbalance. Namely, we all tend to produce too many stress hormones for any given life circumstance. For some reason, a reason I've discovered and the topic of my upcoming book, Raised by Reptiles, modern humans tend to perceive non-dangerous daily happenings as if they were life-threatening, therefore releasing too many stress hormones, therefore causing your brain to misinterpret the circumstance as life-threatening, therefore craving foods that would be helpful for you in that life-threatening situation. Sugar and processed carbs, but it's not really life-threatening, so it ends up actually harming you. But it's a misunderstanding. Your brain's craving it for a good reason, it's just that that reason isn't real. When your boss shows signs of frustration causing your brain to have thoughts of getting fired, your body likely, but abnormally, acts as if this is a life-threatening circumstance and produces high levels of the stress hormones adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones immediately prepare you to run when the literal tiger shows up. But the tiger never shows up. Even if you get fired, there is no tiger, not even a tiger equivalent, because you aren't at risk of actually dying, nor do you need to physically run away if you get fired. So we send the extra calories that we ate while under stress at work into fat storage. The more stress hormones we release, the more we crave sugar and the more calories we eat. If your boss suddenly becomes a permanent angel, then your appetite will reduce until your calorie intake has balanced with your actual energy expenditure. But even if your boss is nice, the mail will be late, the car will break down, the computer will freeze, the in-laws will visit, the dog will misbehave, the kids will cry, the president will tweet, the weather will change, or your sports team will lose. None of these examples are life-threatening. None of them warrant releasing stress hormones. Yet modern humans tend to erroneously release them in chronically high levels under these undesirable but non-life-threatening situations. When we do, our appetite will increase, we will crave junk foods, and we will eat too much, whether we know it or not. Even 2 extra bites per meal over the course of a year can add up to several pounds of extra weight. Conversely, when we are not in danger of a tiger chasing us, and when we are not releasing stress hormones, we will not crave sweets and refined carbs, not in the least. The degree to which you are craving refined carbs like breads and pastas, foods with sugars, and other sweets is the degree to which your body is misinterpreting the happenings of your life as if there was a literal tiger about to pounce on you. Or you could say it is the direct measure of the level of stress in your life. So I have to lower my stress levels in order to lose weight? Yes. Otherwise, even if you lose weight with lots of hard work by forcefully starving yourself, you will just gain it back once you try to eat normally again. Even if you only eat healthy foods, your appetite will be increased and you'll overeat and you'll gain weight from the high levels of stress hormones. What if I can't lower my stress? Can I just exercise to burn the extra calories I'm eating? No, your body will account for the calories burned during the exercise and just increase your appetite to make up for the exercise output, together with the perceived tiger threat. So I was just doing a video on why high intensity exercise and building muscle from that doesn't help you lose weight. The theory is that you build muscle, your metabolic rate goes up because muscle burns a lot of calories just sitting there all day long, and so you'll burn more calories and you'll lose weight. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Your appetite accounts for that, and so if you build muscle and your metabolism goes up, your appetite goes up exactly in that amount to match. Now, if you're not stressed, you won't gain fat. It doesn't matter if you have muscle or not. If you have lots of muscle, your metabolism's high, and you're stressed, you're going to eat enough to maintain that muscle mass, and you're going to eat extra to also get fat. But I know someone who loses weight when they exercise and gains weight when they don't go to the gym regularly. Doesn't that disprove this theory? No, in these cases, the exercise has become a way for the person to de-stress and calm their stress hormones down. So it's not the calories they are burning at the gym, but the effect it has on their perceived stress levels when they aren't at the gym. So the gym exercise for those people is a stress relieving tool that somehow corrects temporarily the misperception of stress being life-threatening, and then the stress hormones come down. It's not from the calories that they're burning. So from this perspective, you could do almost anything like, say, jigsaw puzzles instead of going to the gym and have a weight loss effect if the puzzles were allowing you to reduce your stress hormones. Unlikely, but possible if you really enjoy puzzles. But for most people, especially if they don't enjoy it, exercise won't reduce their stress. It actually might increase it and therefore increase their weight over time. I know people that work out a lot can't lose weight. I know people who start working out and they actually gain weight. And that's confusing, but this explains why. Especially if they don't like working out, especially if they're working out too hard. And check out my video on why you shouldn't do high intensity interval training if you're trying to lose weight. So why do we produce such high levels of stress hormones for such relatively small levels of stress? Or why is our brain imbalanced, right? We already said that modern humans tend to perceive non-dangerous daily happenings as if they were life-threatening. And that it's an internal misunderstanding due to a brain imbalance. Well, there is a biological reason why our modern brains are producing stress hormones at such high levels when there is nothing actually dangerous happening to us. We used to not be this way. All current-day hunter-gatherers known are very thin, obesity non-existent. A recent study found that it isn't because they exercise more than modern people. So it has to be either the different types of foods that we eat that is causing us to be overweight, or it has to do with stress levels leading us to eat more quantity generally, no matter the type of food. In my opinion, it is the perceived stress that moderns have that leads us to both eat too much and crave junk food. So a bit of both. Essentially, the part of the modern human brain that looks out for future danger and assesses the severity of present danger, the reptile brain, is overdeveloped. Let me say that again. The part of the modern human brain that looks out for future danger and assesses the severity of present danger, called the reptile brain, is overdeveloped. And simultaneously, the part of our brains that calms us down after a real or perceived dangerous situation, called the mammal brain, is underdeveloped. So basically, we're hypersensitive to stress, and we're not able to soothe ourselves and calm down. The part of the brain that helps us to produce stress hormones is overdeveloped. The part of our brain that decides that something is dangerous is overdeveloped. The part of the brain that calms that part down is underdeveloped. And so it's a recipe for chronically high stress hormones being produced under normal daily circumstances. Think about it. What dangers are there? What life-threatening dangers are there really in modern times, at least in, let's say, the United States or first world, so to speak, countries? You see a lot of stuff, bad stuff happening on the news, but that stuff is really very, very rare. It's like getting struck by lightning. It's just not going to happen to the average person. So, and even if it was going to happen to you, producing all these stress hormones prior to it happening really isn't going to help you. Like if you're producing these stress hormones for 5 or 10 years prior to the bad thing happening, it's just going to tear your body down and you're going to be less prepared for that. You're only supposed to produce this high level of stress hormones during the actual life-threatening situation. And then once it's over, they're supposed to go back down. So either way, even if you argue that it's possible because there are bad things that happen, that we have to be ready, well, producing stress hormones makes us actually less ready if we produce them before the event. And besides, realistically, there's nothing dangerous. If you wear your seatbelt, if you don't walk in dark alleys at night, right? If you lock your doors on your house, set your alarm, nothing bad is going to happen to you as far as life-threatening situations. It's just so so it's illogical, but every little thing that happens, we produce too much stress hormone because the part that decides whether it's dangerous or not is overdeveloped. The part that decides that, no, it's no big deal, everything's going to be fine, is underdeveloped. So it's a biological problem. So from this perspective, the true underlying cause of obesity is an overactive stress response in the part of our brains called the reptile brain, combined with an underactive self-soothing mechanism in the part of the brains called the mammal brain. Stay tuned for my next article on the baby steps for lowering your stress hormones and healing your brain by calming your reptile brain and strengthening your self-soothing mammal brain. All right. Thank you much.